Hey there everyone, just want to shoot a really quick video on my phone. Happened to get the Sith Planet MPP 2.0 Darth Vader lightsaber in the mail today from Randy. So want to do a quick comparison for all of you who may care about it to the Master Replica. I have the Master Replica 2005 Vader lightsaber. That's the one with the blade still on it. The MPP 2.0 is without the blade. Kind of do a bit of a walkthrough so you can see the similarities and differences with all of it. First off, as we get closer in here, you can see that both of them have a knurled pommel with the rings around it. Let me see if we can get a little better angle on that for you. So this one being the Master Replicas, this one being the MPP 2.0. They come with two different kinds of T-tracks. Randy ships the 6 of the longer T-tracks so that you can make the Empire Strikes Back version. They're the same hard plastic. There's almost no feel difference between the two different lightsabers. The MPP 2.0 comes with 6 holes drilled in it near the bottom that will fit the T-tracks in, and then the T-tracks themselves just have an adhesive tape underneath them so they stick very, very nicely to the hilt. They also ship with 7 of the shorter T-tracks so that you can do a New Hope version. But of course with 6 holes drilled in it, you won't necessarily be able to do that. You might have to play with that a little bit. Moving up, we can see next the clamps. The clamps are very, very similar in terms of the clamp that goes around the hilt, and they have the bubble strip. This is one area on the MPP 2.0 that is a bit problematic. No matter how you try, you can't tighten it enough to get the bubble strip to actually stay. I mean, this has been tightened as far as I can, so something else is going to have to happen in there where I'm going to have to put something else underneath it or some tape or something to keep it from sliding out, because it very easily slides out, and I'm actually just going to get rid of it. You can also see that the MPP 2.0 that the clamp is not the switch like it is on the Master Replicas. It's just a clamp. Probably the biggest thing if you're an Empire Strikes Back person looking to use this for that is the clamp. This actual, the lever, pardon me, this lever is actually non-removable. The whole thing actually acts, it's a screw that goes through the clamp and then screws into the other side. So when you get to this part, this chrome piece here actually has a threaded hole into it, and the screw that passes through the clamp is actually screwed in using the lever. So that's a bit problematic in terms of getting something that's, I won't make comment on whether it's approvable or not, but certainly if you have obsessive Vader disorder, this clamp, or this lever, pardon me, on the clamp is a problem, because obviously it doesn't exist in the Empire Strikes Back. If you're using this as a New Hope, then you're perfectly fine. That lever works really, really well. Moving down the hilt a little bit more, try to get a better angle on it. The MPP 2.0 does come with all of the various slots actually drilled into it. And so all it would take is some wires from, say, Wanawanga to replicate the wires that are on the MPP 2.0. The one difference, however, on the MPP 2.0 is, as you can see, there are no letters stamped anywhere in it. So the Master Replicas does have that. The S and the B you can see there just barely. They are not stamped into the 2.0, so a little bit of a minor differences on that one. Next we're going to get up to the Shroud. This is actually a cause of the delay. The MPP 2.0s were shipped with a delay because the manufacturer originally didn't have a lip on them around the Shroud. And hopefully you can actually see that there is a bit of a lip. We're going to angle it a bit here. It's not as pronounced on the 2.0 as it is on the Master Replicas. Okay, so there is a lip there, but it's certainly much more noticeable and much more pronounced than it is on the 2.0, but it is there now. The Shroud also has a little bit less texture to it on the 2.0. Fairly minor difference. You don't really see that a whole lot. Moving around, this is the inside of the MPP 2.0. Really like this. They actually have a real coil, an actual metal coil going around there, and you can get some blade plugs for that that'll make it look like the original MPP. So very nice touch there. We're going to flip it over and kind of work our way back down to the other side. Again, the Master Replica is the one with the blade in it. You can see a difference in the size of the D-ring. The D-ring on the Master Replicas is quite a bit larger than it is on the 2.0. I had a little bit of trouble actually getting it on. I tried it with my belt hanger or my belt clip, and it is a little bit more awkward with that. But it does have, you can tell the knurled thumb screw there, and then the rest of the shroud actually looks very similar. Moving down to get to where the bulb release button actually is, they can look nearly identical. The only difference is on the MPP 2.0, this is actually the power switch. So built right in, you can hear it click, maybe you can hear it click. There is actually a momentary switch actually built right into the hilt, or it actually comes and you have to assemble it and screw it all in, but there is actually a momentary switch in there, and that's what would control if you are going to put some blade electronics in it. And then the rest of it you can see, again, very similar. The clamp, the body is very good. The T-tracks are there. Overall, I'd have to say, we'll put the Master Replicas down, I'd have to say this really does feel like a great saber. It's got a really nice weight to it, heavy all-metal body. I think the only things that are a bit concerning in terms of sort of getting it to be finally to the ESB is really that lever on the clamp. You can get the wires in there. Yeah, it'd be nice if the letters were stamped into there, but that's no big deal. There is on the shroud here, you can barely see it, there is actually a little bit of a set screw that does stand out, probably a little bit of color on that one, and it would fade right into the shroud. That's something that's not on the Master Replicas. The other really big deal is the fact that it is a 7/8 blade. That's the normal blade put into here. I'm sure someone will make something that converts it to a 1-inch, but that won't be as solid as getting the real blade all the way down into there. So it is a 7/8 blade. So that's gonna, if I do electronics, I'm gonna have to invest in that. But other than that, my understanding is from what I've seen online, is if you're looking for a chassis, looking for something to hold a sound chip, sound card, etc., that the Custom Saber Shop, their V6 speaker and battery holder fits perfectly into there. It's just that the blade side is a little bit smaller. The only other thing to point out, just as an interesting item to help you work with your electronics, is if I unscrew, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to unscrew the screw on the clamp. So you can see actually how it does actually unscrew from the two pieces on the other side of the clamp, so that I can actually move this. So again, if you're a New Hope person, you can put it at the 45 degrees and do that. But it also covers up the fact that the whole hilt actually unscrews. It actually is in two pieces. So initially when you're doing some work in there, and it takes quite a bit to actually get it unscrewed, but you can actually see now that we've got one part of the hilt there, and then the other part of the hilt here, where you can see just inside, probably not a great view of it, but the two pieces actually come apart, which can help you as you're setting up your electronics. So that's basically it. Really nice saber. A couple of minor things that you may have to make some modifications on if you're looking for a really obsessively good Vader. Again, I won't make any comments on whether it's approvable or not, or what it takes to make it approvable, but I don't think it's a lot of work to get something that looks pretty close to the Master Replicas.